What's up, guys? It's Dan from Coin Bureau Trading, back at it again with another crypto market update. Today we've got Ethena, Eigenlayer, and Moo Deng. These three cryptos have been pumping the most over the last 24 hours, and I'm sure you'll all want to know, why are they pumping? How high could they go? Are they going to get rejected? What's going to come next for these cryptos? If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell. Going to be bringing you reviews of the top three performing cryptos over the last 24 hours, Monday through Thursday, trying to get these videos turned around as quickly as possible so that you have information that's still relevant by the time you're watching these videos. But of course, guys, just do keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice. It's just my personal crypto trading strategy. What I see in the charts could be different than what you see. And if it is, then honestly, guys, as I always say, the more difference of opinion we have, the better traders, the better investors we're going to become. So with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into it. So first up, we have Ethena. And of course, we have to ask, why is Ethena pumping? And the answer is actually pretty straightforward. Basically, a governance proposal was tabled. It hasn't been passed yet, which is, that's going to be the other part. But a governance proposal has been tabled for basically Ethena, for the ENA token to capture a portion of Ethena's protocol fees. So I guess without getting into too much details, guys, basically Ethena is this I guess you could say yield-bearing stablecoin. I know you're going to think it sounds like Terra or whatever. It's a little bit different in the way that it's made. But I guess the key takeaway with Ethena that you just have to keep in mind is that when the crypto market's rallying like this and everyone is going long, this is when the interest rate on this USDE stablecoin is going high, just going freaking high. Literally, I'm talking 50%, 60%, 70% interest rate, right? And basically the proposal, obviously the governance proposal, is for the ENA token to capture a portion of these fees, which would be huge. Ethena as a protocol, despite all the risks that are involved, it's probably going to generate the most revenue of any DeFi protocol that's ever existed. And I actually do think that the ENA token is going to be freaking massive, in terms of, again, apologies for language, but seriously, guys, I do think that the ENA token is going to get very big because it's just, if that proposal is passed, which I think that it will be, especially now that there's been, a Republican sweep basically in the US, means it'll be very easy for these DeFi cryptos to basically get to pass these proposals without fear of regulatory scrutiny, essentially. And so I do think that we're going to see some pretty sizable gains, but of course we have to take things one step at a time, guys. Try not to get too excited here. So with Ethena, what's interesting, of course, is that we had actually some target math here from when we covered it not long ago, and nothing's really changed. Basically, ENA has just breached this resistance level, which is awesome. That means the target is 65 cents, and of course, I guess to recap, the starting point was 25 cents, resistance was 45 cents, difference there is 20 cents, and of course it gives us a target of 65 cents. And of course, because ENA's pumped a little bit already, we can move this up a little bit here, and maybe we can bring the support to somewhere probably where the resistance was. So risk-reward ratio of around 2, maybe around 25% to the upside for ENA in the short term, which again, I do think that's going to happen if this governance proposal passes, and I do think that governance proposal is going to pass given the change in U.S. administration. And as I'm shooting this video, we're still waiting for the final votes to come in, but it looks like the Republicans are going to sweep the House. And as I mentioned in yesterday's video, if Republicans have the House and the Senate, then they're going to be able to rush through crypto regulation like it's nobody's business. And you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff like ETFs and DeFi and stablecoin payments and all this type of stuff. And, this is going to come with a lot of risks, and I think there's going to be some pretty big blow up at the end of it. But, enjoy the ride while it's here, right, guys? And anyways, guys, in all seriousness, yeah, ENA's pretty good, I would say, as a short-term trade. But I do think that there are better ones out there, to be honest, even other DeFi cryptos. You have to think, guys, always, when you see something that's pumping, you have to ask yourself, is there something else that's similar that hasn't really been pumping yet? In the case of ENA, in the case of DeFi cryptos, there's a lot of DeFi cryptos out there. And those of you who are in the Coin Bureau Club will know that there's one DeFi crypto I picked up actually recently that I think has a lot of potential, completely off the radar. And it's kind of like this. I'll give you guys a hint. It's kind of like Yearn Finance, if you guys remember Yearn Finance from the last cycle, but it's way smaller and it adds a little bit of kind of a Gamblify elements into it. It's a very interesting protocol. This might ring a bell for some of you. Feel free to guess in the comments. Anyways, guys, as you guys can see there, we were using Bybit, and of course, the Coin Bureau has some pretty nice Bybit deals there, up to $60,000 in rewards. Of course, you're going to have to do lots of trading, lots of deposits and stuff to take advantage of for that full 60,000. But even with just a few $100, couple $1,000, you can get, whatever it is, $5, $20, $50. Even that small amount is going to help, especially when you're doing trading. Same thing with these trading fee discounts, guys, that we have on Blowfin, OKX, KuCoin, and Binance. These, I'm going to keep hammering it home because, again, guys, as someone who frequently uses all these different types of exchanges, I can tell you I've lost so much money in fees, it's not even funny. And I honestly wish that I was a viewer and I had taken advantage of these deals before I made all my accounts and everything on these exchanges, because it would have saved me quite a bit of money, and it doesn't cost you a thing. You literally just click the sign up now button on these links and you can create an account literally in a couple minutes. You save on fees, we get a cut of those fees, and the exchange gets a new user. It's literally a win-win-win for everyone. So it helps us out a lot. It'll help you out a lot. And of course, you can choose which exchange you want to support, which exchange you want to help out a lot. We have lots of selection there in the deals page in the description. So now, guys, moving on to the next crypto, we have Eigenlayer. So again, this is another crypto that's a little bit technical, but basically Eigenlayer allows for Ethereum restaking. And I guess a simple explanation of how restaking works is like, imagine you stake your Ethereum, but then you can use that staked Ethereum to secure another chain or another use case, rather, like another application. So in this case, there's announcements here. I guess I'm sorry. I should probably give a little bit more background there that, you're securing these use cases with these restaked ETH, but the question is like, what are the use cases? Are there really that many use cases? And the answer, honestly, guys, is like, not really. And this is the thing that's been like a big criticism of Eigenlayer is like the yield that's been coming from basically supporting these app chains. The main one is EigenDA, which is like Eigenlayer's own kind of like application chain that's secured by restaked ETH. It's for like data availability. Again, I'm not going to get like too much into the details, guys. But point being is that, Eigenlayer is kind of like in desperate need of like actually useful, basically like applications that leverage this restaked ETH. And it looks like there's one related to AI, which just integrated with, or I guess is using Eigenlayer restaked ETH for security. So that's obviously a little bit of a bullish announcement. And of course, because Eigenlayer is tied to Ethereum, Ethereum's whole ecosystem is pumping right now. So obviously Eigen's going to benefit from that. So here, opening up, our handy dandy target math, we can go through it real quick. Super simple. Starting point, $2.5. Resistance around $3.5. And of course, the difference there is $1. So you take resistance plus difference, and we have $4.5. In terms of risk reward, you're looking at around 1.5, assuming the support is around $3, which I think makes sense. You can see that, the kind of prices clustering around $3. Key psychological level as always. So upside, potentially around 25%, which would take us up to this opening wick of around, which makes sense. Like opening wick was around 4.5, 4.6 or something like that when it first listed on exchanges. Or I guess on Bybit in this case. So it makes sense that we would see revisitation of that target, maybe a little bit of pullback down to $4 and then keep moving higher. But of course, first, guys, I do have to stress that, whereas Ethena is already above this resistance level, we're still waiting for Eigenlayer for the Eigen token to get above this resistance. So once that resistance is breached, then you can start looking for long positions or just taking a cheeky little swing trade or whatever you guys prefer to do. I'm personally just going to be sitting on my hands. As you guys know, I'm not a super active trader, but trust me when I say when there's a time, when the come times to trade and I see a really good trade, you're going to know it's going to be an exciting one. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, guys, moving on now, we have Moo Deng, which is, of course, this meme coin after this famous super cute hippo, admittedly cute hippo. And basically, it looks like Moo Deng is pumping because Moo Deng had kind of like correctly predicted the Trump election. Basically, how do I even explain this? Basically, like the zookeeper gave Moo Deng like two different desserts. They were both the exact same dessert, but one of them said Trump and the other one said Kamala. So it's kind of like random, like which one's going to choose because they're both identical. They just have like a name. And obviously this Moo Deng thing can't read English, right? So it picked the Trump pie. And now everyone, I guess, is like celebrating, be like, oh my God, Moo Deng is like, a savior or whatever. But of course, guys, it's just a coin toss. But people like to go around this cult stuff and like the tarot cards and whatever. There's a lot of that stuff and like astrology and all that. I'm sure you guys know a few people who do that. But I do need to know, guys, with Moo Deng, I was checking also because I'm like, well, it's all nice like with this US election narrative and everything. But like, I feel like this is not super organic. So of course I went to CoinMarketCap, checked the markets tab, sort by trading volume, and lo and behold, Moo Deng is trading a lot on these kind of like offshore exchanges that are not very well known, not very reputable. I personally, I've never had any issues with BitGet or Mexi, but I'm not so sure about Bitmart and LBank. And again, like I'm sure that those exchanges are great, but again, these are exchanges that are, let's say, not exactly popular with your mom and dad, or your friends for that matter, if that makes sense. So just do be wary of that, guys. It looks like there's a little bit of manipulation going on here. But with that being said, Moo Deng is actually looking pretty decent. I do think that it could see another leg higher. Again, if it does, the key thing, guys, it has to break above this resistance, which is around 25 cents. And if it does, you'd be looking at a risk reward ratio again of around like 1.5, which is like not too shabby, but the upside there is 35%, which is what's kind of like the juicy part. Downside around 23%, assuming the support is 20 cents, which again, like, with these meme coins, it could easily fall through that, fall to the starting point here, or even fall even lower than that, right? It could fall all the way to like 10 cents or something. But with that being said, guys, the starting point is around 15 cents, of course. Resistance around 25 cents. Difference there is 10 cents. So you take the resistance difference, add it to the difference rather, and you get 35 cents, of course. I do think that meme coins in general, I think that there's going to be, here's my hot take for you guys. So I think that meme coins are going to see one more big kind of cycle probably towards the end of this year. It's going to be because I do think that meme coins are similar to how DeFi was in back in 2020. And for those of you who weren't around, basically DeFi emerged, like it was kind of like the first narrative that emerged, like when the last crypto bull market was starting, DeFi was kind of like the first thing that came out. And so DeFi crypto saw like a huge rally, and then they kind of like, they cooled down a bit, and then they saw another like second leg higher, like a massive rally. But then after that, if you actually go back and look at the charts, you'll see that these DeFi cryptos, they were kind of just like trading sideways or even going down during the remainder of the bull market when everything was rallying. So I actually think that we're going to see a similar thing here with meme coins for the simple fact, guys, that if you think about it, the same people that were using DeFi back in the day are the same ones that are going and digging into these meme coins. They're the same ones like learning how to use pump fund and going to do all this stuff. It's people that are familiar with on-chain stuff, experienced crypto retail, or institutions and whales and whatever, right? Or I guess not necessarily institutions, although there is some evidence of institutions getting involved, but not going to get into details there. But yeah, guys, I do think that meme coins of all kinds, whether it's Moo Deng or whatever, I do think we're going to see another leg higher probably towards between now and the end of the year. But then I do think it's going to be kind of a similar situation to how it was with DeFi, where like, yeah, there's going to be a couple, maybe like Dogecoin or something because of Elon Musk. Like, there's going to be a couple meme coins like that like, of course, keep powering higher and like just grinding higher, like kind of like a regular altcoin. You could make the argument that Dogecoin is like more like a regular altcoin at this point rather than like an actual meme coin, especially because there's development going on around Dogecoin and some other meme coins as well. I know like should be that stuff as well. But point being, guys, like these these smaller speculative Moo Deng, maybe even like Pepe and these types of guys, like they're probably going to see that they're going to have a nice big explosion higher probably towards the end part of this year, and I think that they're going to be kind of lagging behind the rest of the crypto market when we enter that like parabolic blow off top. Because again, thinking about it, guys, like of course everyone knows Moo Deng, but do you think your mom, do you think institutions, do you think your friends are going to be buying Moo Deng? Maybe some of them, but most of them will probably be like, hey, like this sounds like a decentralized YouTube or decentralized Spotify, which again, like this is stuff to be on the lookout for, like decentralized Airbnb, decentralized OnlyFans. Like these are the types of narratives that we cover, of course. Perfect segue to the Coin Bureau Club, where we do weekly altcoin reviews of altcoins that our members vote on. And these are basically small caps, they're like off the radar, belong to these super hot narratives. We showcase our personal crypto portfolios as well as the cryptos that we're watching. And of course, the cryptos in our portfolios do consist of cryptos that are, from these like super hot narratives. And, we don't do portfolio updates too often because we're the type of people, again, we're not like active traders. We're just there. We buy and we hold and we wait. Because that's kind of like the best strategy, especially during bull market. But I do daily like crypto market updates for Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're doing posts every single day in the research feed in terms of like different types of altcoin alpha. Shout out to Kevin these days, who's been really crushing it with like, alpha around like meme coins on like all these different chains and like NFT collections and all this kind of like obscure stuff that, like some of these things are probably going to go up a lot. And so shout out to Kevin for that if he's watching. Another one of the researchers here at the Coin Bureau has been doing an excellent job. I unfortunately don't have the time to like go through all of it in detail, but I've been like skimming through the posts and it's incredible stuff, guys. And again, you can find a link to that down in the description. That's where you'll find me, the rest of the Coin Bureau team, and you can actually ask us questions even in the Discord. And if I have time, of course, I'd be happy to do some TA, some more advanced TA, let's say on some altcoins that interest me and interest you. So with that being said, guys, if you did make it this far, thank you so much for watching. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ping that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.